And I wasn't planning on coming up here live again today. That wasn't my idea. But I guess I probably better, considering yeah, the unmasking of an incel. June 11th of this year, the Huffington Post posted an article. And yes, they did clearly bring up Steve Hoka's name. That's right, in TFL, True Force Loneliness. And they talked about Incel. You know, over the years since I've been doing this, I've been told by many different times by the quote-unquote normies, most of the time by females, that we was dangerous to society. We was dangerous to society. Now, anybody that's really done their homework, that understands what's going on in today's society and the issues going on, even within the dating arena, is all tied back to NWO. Social engineering, social conditioning, the destruction of the family unit. Feminism was only one tool to destroy the family unit, to divide and conquer, to destroy the family unit. The war on men, which for years the media, the mainstream liars, told you was a war on women. It was never ever a war on women. It never has been a war on women. It's always been a war on men. But our mainstream media, our sick world we live in, reports lies, propaganda. And it's perfectly legal for them to report propaganda. They take the real truth and they turn it upside down on its head and they report you the lie, not the truth. You know, and if we were so dangerous to society, well, then why would mainstream media, even this year, be promoting a woman who's selling a book, PUA, pickup artist industry, telling men how to get a date, to get a woman in their life? You know, the pickup artist industry has been around here. They were around here before I was around here. And you could not promote or sell a book for pickup artists if there wasn't a legit problem. The problem was created by social engineering. They spent many decades working on this to get them where they got us today. Over the years since I've been doing this, I've clearly stated hundreds and hundreds of times, especially at the beginning of TFL, the TFL was never about your ability to get laid, and TFL did not promote violence. We didn't want anything to do with violence. Okay? But over the years of doing this, regardless of how many times I said this, somebody always took my words and manipulated them and flipped them. I said TFL from the very get-go was never about getting laid. And everybody turned it around and said, oh, these men can't get laid. They just play selective hearing. They hear what they want to hear and disregard the rest. When we clearly stated we do not promote violence, we can understand why it's happening. We don't condone it. We do not promote it. We don't want you acting out on it. But we understand your feelings. That's exactly what we meant. But of course, you sick, twisted people out there, you do what you always do. You take somebody else's words out of content, you flip them and manipulate them into your want for your own selfish gain. Okay, so staying insane amongst the insanity over there has showed a Huffington Post news article, which I went and looked up. He didn't show that article, he talked about it. He didn't even provide a link for other people to see it. Okay, and let alone tell you a name of it. The name of it is Unmasking of a Incel. The Unmasking of an Incel. By the Huffington Post, June 11th, 2018, they posted an article. In this article, they clearly showed you psyopses, things that never happened, that were reported as they really happened by the lying mainstream media. Okay, so the liars, the deceivers who work for mainstream media, who are in bed with evil for the tool, for money, who are helping to bring down their own society, have clearly lied from day one. Elliot Rodgers never happened. I know a lot of TFLers want to believe that Elliot Rodgers really happened. Well, so did Gilligan's Island. So did the Flintstones. Yeah, the Flintstones, a cartoon. So did I Dream of Jeannie. So did Bewitched. Oh, I'm talking about television shows, ain't I? Well, I sure am. Because that's what Elliot Rodgers was a show. An act. A fraudulent scam that never took place. The red flag laws that's being pushed into society right now, and they've already passed in, 4 or 5 states in the United States already? Where they're coming after your guns based on mental health laws? Don't believe me? Go look. If you can't go look, it's not my problem, it's yours, okay? Was based on lies. Why do you think they do this stuff? They do their psyopses, their fraudulent events that never take place, to push laws into society. And then take rights away from you for what their fraudulent act. So Elliot Rodgers, this van ramming over in Toronto, Canada, okay, never happened. They were psyopses. They were complete lies. Well, they threw them into this article. They sure did. That's right. You know, it's what Steve Holcomb and I talked about earlier was red flag laws. Like the gun law, there's going to be another law coming after men who don't have nobody in their life. So if you're a man going your own way, you're going to be drug into this. If you're an incel, you're going to be drug into this. If you're a TFLer, you're going to be drug into this. Don't believe me? I don't care if you believe me or not. Let time go by and watch and see, and you're going to find out I just told you the truth. This has been planned all along. This is no accident. It's not an accident that you have men going their own way, that you have men's rights movement, that you have a pickup artist industry, and you have TFL. That's never been an accident. It's all NWO related. It's all social engineering. They knew the outcome, planned the outcome way in advance, and they help it along when they give you their psyopses that you fought for because you don't look into anything. This gives them justification to take rights away from you. And you help them do it. And you don't even know you are. And I've said it a long time ago, and I'm going to say it again. I've always known, because this was NWO related, and the war was actually against men, that the day would come when the powers to be, would do more psyopses and push the law to come after men who didn't have a woman in their life. So if you're rejected, you're dangerous to society. If she rapes you and treats you like shit and throws you away, and you speak out, you're dangerous to society. No, you're dangerous to the criminals at the top. Because they don't want the truth being told. They want you, and only you, being punished for something you didn't do. What's a psyop? A psyop is a fraudulent event. A psyop is when they plan something and they use actors And they carry it out and they film it and they put it on mainstream media and tell you it really happened and don't tell you it was an act. Okay? Don't tell you or report to you that these were actors, that nobody died. That's a psyop. A psyop is things like the Parkland school shooting, which was a FEMA exercise drill, which was planned way in advance for that date at that school. Then on the date of the drill, suddenly a gunman walked in and shot and killed a bunch of kids in a school. They already had military and law enforcement there doing a drill. But they took it and put it on mainstream media and told you it really happened. And you fell for it. That is a psyop. Elliot Rogers, the son of the producer of Hunger Games. That's right, the son of the producer of Hunger Games, who acted, who did an act, and came up on YouTube and gave you videos claiming he can't get nobody, he's TFL, he's this, he's this, he's this, and that he's going to get even with them, all an act, all scripted. Then they have him, go out and supposedly stab two roommates, two grown men, okay? Killed them with a knife, BS, okay? And then went on his rampage, but in reality, was all an act. It was all the Flintstones. It was all I Dream of Jeannie. It was all a scripted act Hollywood produced, and they reported it to you as if it really happened. No, Bill's not on bullshit. MGTOW as a solution is the one on bullshit. You haven't looked into a damn thing. You don't know what you're talking about. And you can come up here and say whatever you want. But when you go do your homework and you discover I'm telling you the truth, you're going to be the one taking your big foot out of your big mouth. Not me. I've done my homework. I know what's going on. You've looked into nothing to make that statement. The only thing you've done was tell on yourself. Hi, look at me. I've done no homework. I know not what I talk about, but I run my big mouth. You think I'm wrong? You go ahead and keep flying that name MGTOW. Because when they get through with this, they're going to come after anybody that's labeled MGTOW. And you're going to be dangerous to society. You sure are. So your solution makes you dangerous to society. Congratulations, dumbass. That's what I got to say to MGTOW as a solution. Get rounded up. Get a law put against you because you're claiming you're MGTOW. Get yourself in trouble because that's your solution. Huh? Right? Right? Why don't you go read the article on Huffington Post that was posted 11th of June of 2018 called The Unmasking of an Incel? Why don't you go read that, and why don't you do a little homework and look into things before you start saying names? Because this is coming your way too. Because you're flying around with a label calling yourself a man going his own way. Which means you're going to get drug into this too. So you go right ahead. Well, he could be a disinfo agent, but it ain't going to do him any good. Because, if he says anything more sarcastic, I'm going to take him out of here because he's too stupid to be here. That's the way I feel about this. Oh, no, you didn't do your homework. I'm going to show you what homework you've done. There's your homework. You've been removed from the show. Bye. Okay, now you can actually take the time to do his homework. Okay, because he's no longer here. And if he has a sock account, I don't care. I can click him out just as fast as he shows up. Don't bother me any. The truth of the matter is this. I've known this type of stuff was going to come for a long time now. Because none of this is an accident. It's not an accident that the pickup artist industry exists. Think about it this way. When you were little kids, you played with the girl down the street, and you was just being yourself, and she was just being herself, and there was never a problem. Correct? Correct. Okay? I want you to think about that for a moment, okay? Now I want you to think about what happened. When you got older, suddenly you had to go get a book and do a seminar, and everything was a game, a sport, a competition, an arena. And you had to what? You had to learn a special skill to talk to another human being? What, that somehow that female's above you? No, she's not. She's a human like you are. You're not above her. She's not above you. Why would you as a guy have to have a special skill to talk to her? Doesn't this suggest that there was a problem from the get-go? How could you market or sell PUA pickup artist books and seminars if there wasn't an issue to begin with? You couldn't. It's so in your face. Okay, but what they've done is what I've always known they were going to do. I've studied NWO. I know the programs they pushed into society and social engineering, and I knew the outcome was going to be what it is. I don't know how long before it actually starts taking place, but you're going to probably have another act or two, another couple more psyops, maybe even 3 of them, before you're going to see another type of a red flag law that'll be pushed in. And we will escalate the war on men. Then anybody with the label men going their own way, Incel, or TFL, you're going to be targeted. You're going to be told you're dangerous to society. That's what's going to happen to you. What they're going to push and how they're going to go about it, I can't tell you yet. But I can tell you this, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I already knew the day would come that it would. I knew this years back. This is not no surprise to me. I knew this years back. And some people say, well, then why do you still speak about it? Because this is how evil wins. When you become scared and do nothing about. When you don't tell truth and you tell lies. And you cower out and don't want to tell truth because you're afraid of the consequences that some criminal may do to you. How could win ever be evil? How good ever be evil? Of good isn't willing to stand up and fight back. Have you ever asked yourself that question? How could you ever win any kind of fight if you're not going to fight back? I don't care who these people are because they're the elite, they're the powers to be. They have more of a tool, the money. They have more stats, more this, more that. They're criminals. What do you think double standards are in society? Criminal behavior. What do you think taboo is? Covering up something you don't want talked about. Covering up criminal actions. I always knew the day would come regardless. I've known this for years now. But the thing is I'm not going to back off because I'm telling the truth. I know where the problem comes from. I know why you have a men's rights movement, why you have a pickup artist industry, why you have men going their own way, why you have Incel, and why you have TFL. I know why. I know family bloodlines that were involved in creating this problem for us. That's right, they gave us this problem. We didn't ask for it. They divided the genders with their social engineering and programming. They divided us. They destroyed the family unit. They destroyed the dating scene. We're living the consequences of their actions. Now they're using their actions and our consequences of what we live to furtherly demonize and attack us. That's really what's going on. and people running around flying with the name of MGTOW, TFL, Incel, you're all going to be labeled, you're all going to be targeted. And yeah, okay, staying insane amongst insanity is correct. The founding fathers of TFL will be targeted. Yeah, myself and Steve Hogan, Dwayne Holloway, whether he likes it or not, and he's not part of it right now, will become a target. Okay? And it's not that we're dangerous to society at all. We've always told people you don't go out and kill and hurt somebody. But when I did It Happened Again series, I told people then you cannot keep dumping on other people over and over and over and expect to not suffer the consequences, because some people are only going to take so much before they lose their mind and they do something they should not do. I don't condone violence. I don't want anybody attacking anybody. I don't want anybody hurting anybody. That doesn't make me dangerous to society. The problem is I spoke out about a problem that's real, that they want to consider taboo and keep covered up. And really, the reality is the destruction of our society, destroying the family unit, dividing the genders. I've said it many different times that I want to see the genders brought back together again. But that's not what these evil, sick people at the top want. Okay, they don't want that. So they're going to buck against me, and I already know this. But staying insane amongst insanity, well, he's clearly decided to cower out and take the mainstream media route, the road of the mainstream media, the road of the liars, the road of the deceivers, okay, so that he don't get involved in this. That's his right, that's his prerogative, I don't care. Okay, he tells me they're going to be beating down Steve Hogan's door and his phone, and then he says even Bill Greathouse are going to be coming after you. I was aware of this years ago. Surprise, surprise, no, not at all. I know one day they will. They will pull another psyop. The dum-dums in society who believe the lies that's being fed to them will believe the lie, and they will come to my house questioning me about the lies they believe. That's exactly what will happen. What kind of laws can they actually push through the mental health? I don't know. I'm just being honest. I don't know. I knew it was coming, though. It don't surprise me any. Rubber dum-dum, I just got through talking to Warren not 10 minutes ago. We talk off and on all the time. I spent 3 hours on the phone with him yesterday. I spent another hour on the phone with him today. And you're going to come up here and tell people, why did I throw people who were born under the bus? See, you don't even know what you're talking about. Rubber Wilbur's a no-one troll. The guy went by the name of Brandon Kirk and followed me all over the internet trolling me for almost 6 years. And as you can tell, he's up here playing his lies and bullshit again. So I got a little hint for you, Rubber Wilbur, or Rubber Dummy. You want to come up here and make up lies? Well, then you can leave now, okay? Bye. There you go. This is how I handle it. You want to come up here and make trouble, just start lying about shit? Go ahead. I'll just remove you. Don't bother me, honey. If you got your sock account, run to it and come back and I'll click again. And my clicks will be more than what you can do to keep coming back. You don't bother me any. I'll tell you what. It's just sad the way staying insane is saying this stuff, because you can clearly see the guy don't want to get involved with blah, blah, blah. So therefore he's running. This is why evil wins. Because when they can scare you into shutting up, they win and you lose. Okay, that's all there is to it. They use fraudulent, phony, baloney things, psyopses, for school shootings to pass the red flag law that they're pushing into the states here in America right now that's taking your guns from you under mental health laws. This article on the Huffington Post mentions clearly two psyopses, two phony baloney things that never took place, that were used, and Elliot Rogers was a direct attack against TFL. I said that when it happened, that was an attack against TFL by mainstream media. It was a psyop designed to attack TFL. The van running into people over in Toronto and that mall was another psyop. It was another attack against Incel, MGTOW, TFL. Yes, I'm going to lump this together because you're going to be infected with this too. You ain't getting out of this. If you're calling yourself an incel or a man going your own way or MGTOW monk, it doesn't matter. You have linked yourself to their programming, and when they push this thing through and they start pushing some new red flag law, who knows what name they'll give it, you're going to be nailed with this too. If you're flying with that name, you're going to be considered dangerous to society, that you need mental help. That's right. You need counseling. You might need a mental institution. That's right. You might need a little programming. So you better stop and think hard about that because that's where this is going. Okay? Well, he won't get by with it because it's fucking covered up. They got their ass covered. I wouldn't blame Steve if he tries to sue him. I hear about, I don't know, what was it, 10, 11 years ago? TFL made a mainstream media over in the United Kingdom, was in a mainstream newspaper. It was only one little article, but that was unlikely to what was going on anyhow. Okay? And now we have the same thing going on now. And yes, they clearly have brought Steve Hogan's name up. I have went there and I have Camtasia'd the article in its entirety. So if the Huffington Post pulls it down, I have it. I did that deliberately. So I've already captured that article from the Huffington Post. So if they decide to rip it down for any reason, I have it. What we have to keep our eyes open for now is our next psyop. Our next person that may pop up out of nowhere and start talking about I'm incel and I'm so angry at women and I want to rape them and I want to hurt them and I want to kill them. Okay? If we see anybody show up on YouTube that claims to be incel, MGTOW, or TFL, and they talk this way at all, keep your eyes on them. Because there's a good chance they're an actor and they're setting up their next psyop. Okay? Because they're going to have to do something to have somebody that they can link somehow to incel, men going their way, or TFL. And they're going to have them do something to cost some woman her life or some women, even though they most likely will never die. It'll be a complete act. It'll be another I Dream of Jeannie, another episode of the Flintstones, another episode of Bewitched or whatever. A sitcom, a movie, a show. Yeah, that's what it'll be. It'll be another show, another act. That's what you want to keep your eyes open for. Because they're probably going to do at least 2 or 3 more, and my guess would be 2 or 3 more. And then behind that, you're going to see come some kind of sick-ass bill be pushed through law, and as you read it, it's going to definitely bring up Incel, TFL, mingling their way, and they'll have mental health laws into it, and rights and stuff that can be taken away from you, and then maybe you're going to be put on a probation, or maybe you're going to be put in an institution, but you're going to be targeted as dangerous to society for social engineering, for what these people have done to us. But see, this is what happens when you don't fight back against evil. Evil trumps. Who do you got in office right now? Trump. What's going on? Evil is trumping over the top of us. I don't know what else to tell you, but see, this don't surprise me. I knew this was going to happen anyhow. And guess what? I'm still not scared. Guess what? I'm still here talking about it. I sure am. Why am I? Oh, that's not because I want attention. It's because I'm not going to cower down. I'm not going to fucking become a coward and bend over for evil. If I'm going to die from this, I'm going to die a man fighting back. I'm not going to die a coward on my knees. Where I would have to stay insane amongst insanity has chose to die a coward on his knees. That's his prerogative. Okay, it truly is his prerogative, okay? He can die a coward on his knees if he wants. Because I'm not going to cower down. I know where this problem come from. I know who's responsible for it. I know how society got in the shape it's in. I understand why men would be so angry. I know why they're so angry. I'm not against men for being angry because they have a right to be angry. The only thing I don't condone is you going out and actually raping somebody or killing somebody. That is a no-no. You have to control yourself. Okay? I've told TFLers you need to take women off your mind. Completely. Find a hobby, things to do to make yourself happy. How many times have I said this already? Well, I got to keep repeating myself like a broken record? You know, I've told you this for a reason. Because why do you want to destroy yourself over something you didn't create to begin with? Then if you meet some woman along the way while you're living your life and you're not doing things and you ain't got all that stress on your shoulders, who knows? Maybe you'll find a life with her. But you can't go through life stressing yourself over this. Is TFL real? Yes. If it wasn't real, you couldn't be selling pickup artist industry stuff. So to mainstream media, CNN and so on, I've seen you play and interview a woman this year, matter of fact, a woman who wrote a pickup artist book for the men. It's sort of like Karen Stroud. We got feminist women running the men's rights movement, MRA, and now we have a woman writing pickup artist material right in your face. And then you got this. That's because they're going to do one another couple psyopses, what have you, and they're going to push the mental health laws, what they're going to do. And you people that are living this are labeling yourself in these categories. Be aware of it. That's what this is about. Keep your eyes open. Watch people's behavior. If somebody comes online and they claim to be a MGTOW or a Incel or a MGTOW monk or a TFLer, and they're talking about how they can't get a woman in their life and they start talking about violence of any kind at all, keep your eye on them. Because they may very well be another Elliot Rogers, another actor. That's right, another actor. Don't think for one moment that Elliot Rogers is dead. Because the guy's not dead. That was his stage name. That was his actor's name. He's not dead. He never died. He just did what he was making money to do. I mean, after all, his daddy's the producer of Hunger Game. Ain't hard for him to be an actor in Hollywood. He's got his ticket right on in there. And they used him to do a phony baloney psyop on us, the people, and attack the TFLers. So, I don't know what else to tell you. The same thing they did in Toronto. That van running over them people in that line, all them women supposedly died. Fraudulent, never happened. But you see how they use fake news to pass laws? That's what they did with the red flag law. They used fake news, fraudulent stories to pass a law that they could use to come and take your guns from you. It's the same thing here. They're using fraudulent stories, fraudulent, fake lies to pass laws. See, this is what happens when good does not rise up and fight back against evil. I've said it so many times. Recognize right from wrong. Recognize right from wrong. Do unto one as you want done unto yourself. I've said this so many times over the years. But if you want to blow me off, you can blow me off. Don't bother me any. You're your own demise. That's where that comes from. And it's sad. I seen this Huffington Post article that came out June 11th, and I read it. And I realized what they were doing, and it's what I already knew was going to happen. How much longer we got before they're pushing some law into society, targeting men going their own way, incels and TFLers, I don't know. But that day's going to happen. And once them laws come in and they start pushing them, they get them passed, then the thug enforcement, the great order followers driving their cars with bubble gums on them, calling themselves cops and sheriffs and so on, they'll be following the orders. And I can't say what they're going to write into them. But I know if you're involved in pickup artist industry, if you're involved, you'll probably be left alone because that stuff's being controlled. You'll just be monitored and watched to see that you follow their programming. If you're flying around here calling yourself a man going their own way, or a MGTOW monk, you might want to be careful. Because as a MGTOW monk, or a man going their own way, you're going to fall into the category of the Incel, as the TFLer. You sure are. You may think you won't, but oh yes you will. Because you better remember this war is on men. This war's never been on women. It's always been against men. It's not an accident that you got hundreds of movies, hundreds of commercials, and sitcoms that are dedicated to putting the man down. You have a channel called Lifetime Network who produces movie that male bashes on a regular basis. None of this is an accident. This is all deliberate. And I can understand the feelings of men that's been taken through the ringer by a female and a corrupt court system, a criminal cartel court system. I can understand the anger. I can understand the anger of men who get rejected all the time. But you better remember this is a man's issue. The war's always been against men. And unless men stop throwing each other under the bus, one-upping one another, because as long as you want to one-up each other and think it's all a game, you're doing exactly what evil wants you to do. That's all you're doing. You're doing exactly what evil wants you to do. There's not much more I can say, but I wanted to get up here and let you know that I knew this type of stuff was going to happen. I just find it ironic how Steve and I just get through talking about this type of stuff, And then here comes Staying Insane with this article from the Huffington Post from back in June. And, of course, Staying Insane didn't leave a link to it, did he? No, of course he didn't. He never does. That's all right. I went and Googled it and I found it on my own. Didn't take me but a couple minutes to find it. And I read it. And I just, there's no surprise to me, okay? That's why I'm up here. Then I decided to go over and listen to Staying Insane's video. Okay? And so I listened to his video, and what I see is somebody who has clearly, even because he spoke out about TFL himself. He sure did. He acknowledged TFL, spoke out about TFL. But of course, remember, he took all of his videos down. Remember, he's been focused on attacking Steve. Now, did you hear what he said today? How they're going to be going to Steve's house and calling in his house and beating his door down the next time some psyop happens? And then he brought my name up, even you, Bill Greathouse, blah, blah. You don't think I didn't know this? The founding fathers of TFL are going to get nailed when they push a law. They're going to come my way. They're going to come Steve's way. And they will even go Dwayne's way. No doubt about it. Let them. I'm not backing down. I'm not going to give them anything because I'm not going to go out and hurt nobody. We're not dangerous to society. They're the ones that's dangerous to society. The people at the top, because they're the ones that done this to us. They're sitting back laughing at what they done. They're going to watch us butt heads and fight one another and chase each other down for what they done. What needs to happen is we need to rise up and go after the people at the top. They need to pay for their actions. But that ain't going to happen because none of you are going to rise up. The majority of all of you are going to cower down. Why do you think you're getting your ass kicked by evil? Because you cowered down. What do you think Staying Insane really done? He's cowered down. I'm not going to cower down. He thinks I should have to have some good explanation. I do. How about truth? I don't care what you say. How about truth? How about it points your way? Oh, I know you'll get mad at me for doing that because you don't want to hear truth. Tough shit. I don't want to hear your bullshit neither. You're not going to just decide for somebody else that they're dangerous to a society and blah, 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 and go attack them when they've done nothing. Without getting attacked back. If you want to be a sick screwball and do that, you go ahead. Go right ahead. Because I'll point the truth out and I'll put it in your face. At least I'll die fighting, which is more than what a coward would do. Because a coward won't die fighting. A coward will die on their knees shivering. I'm not going to be scared of this, and I just refuse to. I knew this was going to happen a long time ago, and I've talked about this before. I told people one day, and it's working its way up there. You now have another article. Now they have made TFL, True Force Loneliness, Incel, mainstream, just like they did MGTOW. See, they're working their way there. They're not going to stop. We just have to be observant of ourselves and keep our eyes open. And keep our eyes open. And keep our eyes open. That's what we have to do. And the first time you see somebody come along promoting, hurting another female in any way at all, share that sucker. Share it. Make sure we see it. Then keep your eyes on the media. Start investigating, but it's going to be a little hard because you're not going to get a real name. You're going to get an actor's name like Elliot Rogers. See, guaranteed that's not his real name. Elliot Rogers is not the real name. That's the name they fed to the public. And so, yeah, of course, he's alive and well. Of course he is. He was an actor. He did his job. He made a lot of money doing that all act and fooled a lot of people. That's really where that comes from. And he fooled a lot of people. And I hate to say it that way, but that's what he done. Okay? You got to stop falling for the acts and the lies. You got to realize they're pushing laws based on lies. These criminal fucks at the top are actually writing laws based on lies. They're taking drills, rehearsals, and putting them on mainstream media and telling you they really happened when they didn't. That's what they're doing. And then they're taking their lies and they're using them to write laws to come after people like us. And this is where you got to be aware of what they're actually doing. Because if you're not aware of that, you just believe everything you're fed, then you're the perfect patsy. You're the perfect sucker. If you don't want to be the perfect patsy or the perfect sucker, then start being aware of what you're doing. Because that's important. If we don't become aware of what's going on around us, and we're just going to believe everything our television set tells us, when you find yourself in a bad situation, you have nobody to blame but yourself. If I come out here and tell you something, I'm not up here to lie to you. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. And there's not a lot we can do, but we can do this. We can keep our eyes open. We can watch for the next actor. When they do something and it goes mainstream media and say this and this happened, we can start investigating their story and see how much truth there is to it and catch them in their lies. And when they start writing laws based on lies, we have to start standing up as a people. And we have to attack these people and fucking put that law back out of existence. You cannot put a law into society that's going to take rights away from people over a lie you made up. If you want to make a lie up and use it to fucking suppress other people and take rights from people, then you belong behind bars yourself. And that law needs overturned immediately. And that is the way I feel about that. That is corruption. But once again, evil versus good. Recognize right from wrong. Do not cower down. Stand up and fight back. Or die a coward on your knees. Take your pick. And I told you, I will die fighting. I will not die a coward on my knees. Refuse to. Won't do it. Okay, just ain't gonna do it. I know where this shit comes from because I've done my homework. And I know what they're doing. They're going to perpetuate the war on men. And men are going to keep throwing men under the bus for the power of a pussy, right? Men and women alike need to get back together again and stop fighting one another. We have to stop playing into the BS. You know, the best way to beat these people would be if men and women could get back together on the same page. They would lose their ass if men and women could get back together on the same page. Oh, they would so lose. All of this stuff would go right out the door. But, I don't know how to tell you how that's going to happen. We sat here and pampered one gender and placed them above ourselves. Did we not? Isn't that what our society does? Is pampers one gender and places it over its own self? Yeah. Give them power over yourself? And anybody with half a brain knows what power and greed does. Do you think these women want to lose their power? What, do you think they want to be equal? See, this division, this has gone on too long. The only thing we can do now is keep our eyes close on them, catch them in the middle of it, and we're going to have to stand up and fight back. That's all we got left, really, is if they come after us to stand up and fight back. I mean, it's either that or die as a coward. I don't know what else way to tell you. I can only tell you this is corruption at its finest in your face. And this is going to affect a lot of people. Before it's all said and done, it's going to affect a lot of people. So, yeah, they used Steve Hogan's name in the article. I guess he should love that, shouldn't he, huh? Staying and saying, oh, you finally got your watch, you finally mainstream. No, it didn't matter. Because when it's all said and done, if they go pushing the law, you'll see Steve Hogan's name, my name, most likely Dwayne Holloway's name, and possibly Warren's name. Okay? But I guarantee you're going to find mine and Steve's. There's no doubt about that. There's just no doubt about that. Okay, but it don't much matter. That won't back me down. Okay, I'll just put the truth in their face again, and again, and again, and again, and again. That's all I can do, is I'll fight back. I'm not going to come up here and lie to anybody. So, I just want people to understand this, be aware of it, and I don't want to see you be cowards, but I can't make you do anything. I don't want violence, but I do want you to fight back against corruption and evil. And you shouldn't be told that you're dangerous to society because you don't have a female in your life. You shouldn't have somebody putting their nose up your anal. Oh, look, this guy hasn't had a female in 6 months. Oh, better lock him up in an institution. There's something wrong with them. They must have mental issues. Do you want that to happen to you? Do you want somebody following you around, putting their noses in your, what? And doing this type of behavior? How many of you men that claim you're going your own way want to be drugged down and told because you went your own way you have a mental issue? How many do you want that to happen to you? On a serious note, come on. How many TFLers and MGTOWs and even men's rights activists want to be labeled, drugged down, and told that you have an issue? You know you don't want to get drugged into some bullshit law. This is why we have to stand up. This is why we need to stand together. We really got to stop fucking making categories and throwing it underneath the bus. You really got to stop wanting up each other. Because life's not a game. It's not an arena. It's not a challenge. It's not a sport. We're all human beings. The people that's done this to are laughing their butts off. Because they got you right where they want you. And the only way that we're ever going to beat them at this is to stand together. The best thing that could ever happen is the men and women come back together, but we already know that ain't going to happen, right? Yeah, we know that ain't going to happen. I'd love to see it happen, but it ain't going to happen. But we got to stand up for what's right. Recognize right from wrong. Do not go out and hurt somebody because you're mad. Don't go attack no woman or rape no woman or murder some woman because you're mad. Learn how to get the women off your mind and move on with your life. Understand that it's the powers at the top that's done this to us. Know where it's come from. And stop listening to your television set. Turn off your damn TV set when it comes to your news. Because you're being lied to. But I'm going to get on out of here, but I wanted to get back up here. I wasn't planning on doing this. But I wanted to say something about it after I heard what Stain and Sane had to say. You people need to understand, I've never lied to you. I've told you over and over where this problem came from. This has been deliberately done. This is no accident. This has all been planned. They knew people would act the way people are acting. It's been deliberately done. Now they're going to do another couple psyops and what have you. We'll have the George Sidini was real. The George Sidini incident, that was real. That really happened. The only thing they did do was they took his blogs and they manipulated his words. They twisted the dead man's words around and reported propaganda. That's what they did to George Sidini. Okay? But he was not a psyop. That really happened. And I don't condone his actions to what he done, but I do understand it. You cannot keep dumping on somebody over and over and over and expect good things to come from it. We got to get out of this mindset of everything's a game. One-upping somebody else. Trampling over the top of somebody else for your own selfishness. We really do. We need to start looking out for each other. And that's really where it comes from. We got to stop looking. We got to start looking out for each other. We got to stop fighting. MRA, Incel, MGTOW, TFL. We don't belong fighting one another. We belong looking out for each other, not fighting one another. And even the so-called normies, if people just take their head out of their and go look, well, what can I say? Hey, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Okay? Because I really wasn't going to do another live stream today, but here I am, unfortunately. But, But that's because I wanted to give you a heads up. I wanted to let you know where I come from on this. I wanted to warn you. I want you to keep your eyes open. I want you to keep your eyes open hard for another guy that might call himself one of us. I don't care if he's incel, he's men's right activist, if he's a men going his own way, a MGTOW monk or TFLer. If some guy comes up here complaining about not being able to get somebody in his life and starts talking any kind of nutty talk, crazy talk, make sure and keep your eye on that fool. And keep your eyes on mainstream media. Because they're going to do another couple of psyops and then they're going to push some damn law, just like they did with the red flag law. That's exactly what they're going to do. And you can take that to the bank. And one day, yeah, they'll probably come pounding on my door, Steve's door. Yeah, they'll pound on our door. I see that coming too. But until that time, guys, I'm out of here, and you all have a good one.